It's me, Alexandria, guys. You already know the drill. Coming back to you guys with another commentary video. I might sound a little bit throaty. That's because I'm fighting off the flu right now. I don't know. It's like our bodies just don't adjust to the cool and the hot. I don't know. There has been a blow up of family content on social media in the past decade. On TikTok now, especially, there has been a lot of bad mom content surfacing or poverty family content surfacing where you have women blowing up talking about having over 5 children, not being able to afford them. You have the 28-year-old with 7 kids.
Some of y'all just can't help it but to be mad at the next person and what they doing with their life. Baby, yes, I'm 26 with 6 kids and I'm doing the damn thing. And please don't get into me washing my mop in the sink. This is how I do it. This is how I see my people do it back in the day. And yes, I used to have a mop bucket. The kids broken and that's just, I got to do what I got to do.
You have the 32-year-old with 7 children who lives in a motel. I think I saw a video of her feeding her children ramen, chicken.
Hey y'all, let's make dinner for my kids. So there we have noodles, chicken, and some little cabbage to go with it.
And this is what they're gonna be eating for tonight. Due to some leak in the bed, so I'm just gonna get them a little bit of. Come eat your food.
But the epitome of bad mom is Stephanie Jenkins from the Resillient Jenkins, or as our title says, the not so resilient Jenkins.
I love my partner and I don't want to say nothing negative about him, but it wouldn't hurt him to say he has appreciation for me every now and again, to tell me that he finds me attractive, but that just seems like it's fucking vinegar on his tongue or something. And I mean, I know we're tired, we got kids, we have a life, but isn't like in our 30s a little bit young to just barely have a sexual life? Like, something's off, yo. I really do know every occasion he's told me I'm attractive or I'm beautiful, because I pay attention to that stuff. That means a lot to me, and it's been 3 times in the past 3 years, so It's move out day tomorrow, and in case you didn't catch on, we did not find a place, so we will be going to a hotel and getting a storage unit. It's officially been a week homeless as a family of 7, and so far we're navigating it pretty well, I'd like to say. Okay, hold up, I just played that back, and that sounds way better than when I was trying to do it in the bathroom with everybody in the hotel room. That was not working. Okay, let's get back to it. Like I said, we've been navigating it pretty well. We've just been keeping to our pretty normal routine. I mean, it is currently spring break, and that's definitely added some chaos to it, but it is what it is. I actually enjoy having my babies with me.
So I have been a little bit fascinated or intrigued by their story. The first ever video I've seen from Stephanie was sometime last year, with her asking us to make her viral so she can keep having children because she's not done having children. When you get to look into the story, we realize that it's a family of 7 living in a 1-bedroom apartment. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment and I get super overstimulated if there are too many people in my house, much less 4 screaming, playful kids. It's just not gonna work. So today we're gonna be doing a deep dive on the Resillient Jenkins, and honestly, for my own mental health, I don't think I can do too much of a deep dive, but I'm gonna just cover the basics for now, and then as it goes on I might do more content on them. So I also wanna do a deep dive on them is because a lot of our foreparents grew up in a similar way. I remember my mom telling me some of the stories of how she grew up and how she had to share a bed with a lot of her siblings and how they all lived in like a box house and stuff. So it is reminiscent of a lot of Black families, but let's get into it and y'all will see exactly what I'm talking about because it's gonna get wild. So the Resillient Jenkins is a family of now 7. When we were introduced to them, it was family of 6 going on to 7, but she recently had a newborn. They were living in a 1-bedroom section 8 housing. What Section 8 is like a subsidized living situation where the government pays for half of your rent. And a lot of people who get these apartments, they try to stay in them as long as possible. For instance, you're living somewhere and the average rent in the area is like 1500 US, 2000 US. You would probably be paying like 800 US. And that's just like a guesstimate. These people first came on my For You page when Stephanie was begging to go viral so her partner could keep breeding her, pretty much. The discourse on the Resilient Jenkins has been, why do you keep having all these children if you do not have the means to afford them? And honestly, I understand some people want a big family, not me. Why keep having kids if you really, really, really and truly can't afford them? Like, a lot of us in this economy can barely afford one or two children, much less five. And then it's very abusive to the government system because you are depending on WIC, you are depending on government assistance, food stamps, etc. And what really boggles the minds of viewers is that neither of these parents are willing to work.
We've taken the steps, we've taken self-employment and pursuing different routes for not just his health but my health included. And you know, I don't give a rat's hairy ball ass about your freaking statements of, well, I got this, that, and the third disease, and my husband has this, that, and that, and he'll still go to work and all that. Guess what? That's your decision. I've seen way too many people way too freaking young. And when I noticed that, hey, if I keep pushing my body this, that, and the third way, I'm going to cut 10 years off my life. And the same for my man. We're not going to do that. We're going to take the steps to worry about our health and be here for our kids.
They want to make money off of virality, which we can understand. Hey, I'm right here. I do make a little money off of my social media, but when you are a parent, your priorities become about your children, the safety of your children, and basically to give your children a better life that you received, not the same life or a worse life. So this is why we are having a discourse on the Resilient Jenkins, because as opposed to the mom, the 28-year-old with the 7 kids, she has a decent sized house from what we're seeing. She does take constructive criticism. One of the things that has stuck out to a lot of viewers is that not only does Stephanie and her partner Drew, apparently he's not even her husband, he is her boyfriend of 3 years. Apparently her husband allegedly is serving time for SAing his mother. Mind you, Stephanie has 2 daughters with this guy, so we don't even want to know if that's where it ended or that's where it stopped. What is most egregious about this family is that instead of giving the bedroom to their 4 children at the time, they had them sleeping in the kitchen on the floor while she and her partner kept the bedroom to themselves.
Welcome back, y'all. It's been a wholesome night with the Resilient Jenkins. We started off with our typical nighttime routine of making sure everything gets cleaned up. Now, unfortunately, the belt keeps going out on our vacuum, so we just go ahead and use the hose attachment. We got the floors swept and mopped in the bed area and got the beds back down for bedtime. And I wanted to cut out some extra time to go through both of my son's toy boxes and vacuum the area back up and go ahead and put the rug back down. After I was finished resetting the kids area with them, I went back into mine and my husband's room.
Now, that is just disgusting. You want to have all these children, you want to have this big happy family, and simple things as prioritizing your children's sleeping space to your sleeping space, you don't even do. This brings into the statement, a lot of women can become mothers, but not every woman is a mother. Because if that is my situation, my children get the bed. All my kids sleep on the bed. My partner can sleep on the floor. the kids get the priority. So her priorities are obviously not straight. And she has been begging for months upon months upon months to become viral so she can start making money off of the TikTok creator program. This is where after you reach 10,000 followers on TikTok, you can then monetize your views, right? And at one point, she was getting millions upon millions of views per video. So prior to her becoming viral, she kept begging, hey, I want to go viral. I want to change my children's living situation. I want to change the living situations of my pets because they had apparently 4 cats at the time. And then she said one of her cats had a really bad skin condition that they couldn't afford to take care of. That cat was like her child as well. So honestly, we can see where she was coming from. She wanted to improve her life for her family and her pets. However, once she became viral, nothing changed. And that is why a lot of people have started to look into them a little bit more. Like, you become viral, you're making at least some money off of the internet. Why are you not improving your life for your children's sake? They recently got evicted from their Section 8 housing. I believe this is because of several factors. However, the top 2 factors is that they got evicted because they're not paying their rent, and 2, because the home is overcrowded. Cannot live in a 1 bedroom apartment with 7 people. The space, the metrics, it just does not add up. What was weird to a lot of the viewers was that one, Stephanie's mom reached out to offer some assistance with housing her and her children, to which Stephanie declined at first. Allegedly, she was saying that that's not her mom. However, she eventually said that that was her mom, and her mom has scarred her for life, and she's not going to allow her children to be traumatized by her mother, just as how she was traumatized by her mother. So she declined the help, which is crazy, to now be homeless and living in between storage units and hotels or motels.
And fuck no, I will not be taking my mom up on her offer on me and my kids going to stay with her. That is just not gonna happen. That lady popping up right now, just, it sickens me, honestly. And that's all I'm saying about that, because a part of me that's healed on everything that she brought on my past just does not want to spend any time on her. She gets absolutely no time of day from me. And that is for me to decide. It's not up to a bunch of strangers to decide what I should and shouldn't forgive from a past you weren't even there for. Now,
prior to moving out from this home that they were evicted, they decided to abandon their cats, saying that you can't force your cats to stay inside. If a cat wants to go outside, just let them go outside. And when they left their cats outside.
after debating for some time, we decided we will not have indoor cats when we move. Prior to me and Drew getting together, I had 1 cat and he had 1 cat. The cat that he had was a stray that came in from outside, and the cat that I had was a cat that I received from a friend. Becoming a family, we brought in 2 other stray cats. So at one point, we did have 4 cats in this apartment. That seriously did not last long, not even more than a couple of weeks. And then my cat Conscious, who has always been a free spirit, wanted to go outside, and so we let her do so. It's always been my opinion that if you have cats and they act like they want to go outside, let them outside. They're animals.
And as a pet person, I had a dog that was just really difficult to deal with, especially in an apartment. She would poop everywhere outside of her designated pooping area. She would shit in my bed. No cap, like my dog would literally take a shit in my bed. And she was just a demon from hell, really. And instead of just leaving her on the street. I brought her to the nearest animal shelter and had her rehomed. I gave her up for adoption. So Stephanie said that the animal resources in our area were overwhelmed and this and that. A lot of viewers actually know the area that she lives in and called some of the animal shelters in that area and asked if they were overwhelmed, if they wouldn't take any additional pets. And they said yes, they would take additional pets. So now the current situation is that Stephanie is homeless. Yes, with her 5 children. And even now being homeless, they still refuse to work. Anyways, because Stephanie doesn't seem to understand what it means to be a public private person, she does come on the internet and she does show us a lot of things that we don't necessarily need to see. And because of this, and because a lot of online viewers are sleuths and detectives, they were able to find out the exact location of her motel that they were staying at. And dun da da da, another character comes into play.
Hi, I'm the first baby mama.
So Drew's previous baby mom, she came in and she came on the internet and talked about how he owes over a decade of child support.
Speaking about the Resillient Jenkins, actually, he has more than one son. Hi, I'm the first baby mama. I'm absolutely embarrassed the fact that that's my sperm donor. My son is almost 12. Since everybody wants to kind of chime in, that man that everybody's saying they have 2 loving parents walked out of his son's life when he was 2.
Or maybe under, I don't know, give or take a decade of child support, and how he was paying with garnishments. And this is actually the reason why he does not want to work a 9 to 5, because his child support for that child will be coming out of that. So because Stephanie posted some clips of the area that they were staying at and the online detectives found out the location, Drew's baby mom, Arlita, or she goes by Nails by Arlita on social media, was able to find Drew and serve him for backed child support and being in contempt of court because he told the judge that he was working when he wasn't working.
Back in February, I got the phone call of from our caseworker that's on my child support case. Back in February, it was the beginning of February, I got the call, and the call was the gist of holding him in contempt. I never received consistent child support payments since all this stuff about the eviction and them being in hotels and y'all doing weird stuff like doxing them and doing I don't condone the doxing. I don't, because there's kids involved. And I got the confirmation from the sheriff that he was served. His court date for next month is April 7th.
And he was under the radar and wasn't able to pay and was living okay until Stephanie started to post every living thing about their family situation. And the plot thickens. I gotta scratch my head for a little bit of knowledge. What's next? Like, it just keeps getting worse. So the date for the court date is coming up in the beginning of April, and everybody's gearing up to see what is gonna happen to the Resilient Jenkins. Is he gonna finally get a job so he can start providing for his other children while he keeps having children with this woman? What's gonna happen? So the court date comes up, and we hear that Drew is in the hospital because he has suffered a seizure.
So, as you probably already know, well, some people may know because Drew posted about it. Drew went to the hospital this morning. I've never been the type of person that just likes to seek attention or wants people to pity me. Been through so much in my life, and I've just had so many like depressive moments that it's like I'm just tired. I'm just done. I want to be happy. Pity. Yeah, you're just seeking pity. That's just not me and Drew, okay? We're very to ourselves, and the reason we were going to try to start sharing about his health journey was more just because it was on me. He wasn't even fully comfortable with it. It was me trying to slap people in the face with the reality that he's not just some man that sits on his ass and does nothing for his family. We've taken the steps, we've taken self-employment and pursuing different routes for not just his health, but my health included. This morning was bullshit. Okay? Because the medical system is failing my man. I'm seeing firsthand how African Americans get treated in the medical system. And if you want to deny that, that's probably because it doesn't affect you. Y'all gonna be like, oh, well, she can say, well, this test came back normal and this came back normal, and well, obviously there's nothing wrong with him and he's just playing games. Nah, man, do you know how many times an African American has their medical concerns dismissed simply because that's just how the doctors want to play? And this morning, when my man was interacting with the paramedics, I just often ask myself, like, would you be asking these questions if it was would you be asking these questions in a different scenario? Because why are you instantly assuming that this has to do with some kind of substance abuse? Why are you instantly assuming that he's faking it? And why are you calling him old when he's 35?
So obviously, people have been calling out the coincidence on this seizure happening on the day of the court, and there were no previous mentions of him ever having a seizure. So it did look a little suspicious on their part that the day he was supposed to show up in court, he ends up in the hospital. Stephanie comes out and makes a very long 10-minute video talking about the injustices of the medical system and how the paramedics showed up and they did not believe that he had suffered a seizure, and how the previous baby mom, Nails by Arlita, was basically jealous of everything they have. To which, my good sis, Nails by Arlita responded to her video showing her home, showing the different bedrooms that her children has, showing her kitchen, and saying, I have nothing to be jealous about you, boo. Nothing, how? And Nails by Arlita also stated that she has known Drew since they were kids and he has never had a seizure throughout their childhood, throughout their adult relationship. She does not know him to have seizures. So she has called BS on that. Another concern that her viewers has is that she or they are abusing substances. This has allegedly been confirmed because in one of her recent videos, she was doing like a tidying up of the home, and you could see like a lollipop shaped item in her pocket that doesn't look like a lollipop, and a lot of people were saying that looks like a meth pipe. Some other viewers have said this looks like a weed pipe. However, those, I looked it up, those two pipes look very different. So I don't know. I didn't see exactly what's in her pocket. I only saw the outline. A lot of viewers have also pointed out that she's constantly wiping the walls with a mop and a bucket, and I've never seen that happen before. And they also stuffed a cloth in their smoke detector. Now, this is why you gotta be really careful about what you post on the internet, because people pay attention to the details
Like now with the stain in my couch.
even when you aren't. And people say they look very high in a lot of their videos. And honestly, they kind of do. What do you guys have to say? Like, I don't know. It's hard not to judge them because they keep, it's like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. But they are insane people. I have to say that. They're very insane because they keep having children and they don't have the money to feed these children. A video actually came out yesterday saying that they ran out of toilet paper and hand towels, and all the children have to use their wash rags to wipe their ass when they take a shit. Are we okay in this society? And a lot of viewers have also called out the CPS, saying that if this was a black family, you would have taken these children away. But because the mother is white, no one is getting involved. Guys, I'm really interested to see how this not so resilient Jenkins family grows. Because really and truly, I would love for them to grow and develop and, provide better resources for their children's sake. But I don't know. What do you guys think? If you have any more information, don't forget to comment it below, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.